I just saw the video you mentioned in the chat room there with Souls, 2D, and Grand Sweep. I love Grand Sweep.
I want to watch it for real money. Real money? I mean, freaking fun to watch.
Is that how you incentivize players to come? You drop the tier 3 sub? You think I'm playing? You know, I saw a Smash post the other day about how tournaments that don't, like, incentivize the top players to come are really bad and stuff like that, and, like, who cares about the general attendee? And I was like, me, motherfucker, I care about the general. Who gives a fuck about top players? Who gives a fuck about commentators? The general attendee is the most important person. And then COVID happened, so, you know, who cares? Anyway.
Look at that sweep.
This is generally a pretty tough matchup for Fairy, although these two have played a million times. One of the big issues is that her standing light is 8 frames. It's very tough for her to poke out of defensive situations against Lancelot when his recas are slightly negative and he has a 5-frame light. So she a lot of times has to just block until Lancelot makes a mistake or she makes a big read.
He's trying to keep full screen to punish anything.
Generally because, like, you know, if he does a Rekka, he's -2, he hits a 5-frame light, her, you know, her standing light will lose.
Yeah. He's looking to get one big punish. Alright, good blocks.
And if it's spaced out, it's even more tough for her to do anything, really, right? That's what you have to do. You have to try to DP. I don't think he had the lunge there because he already used it. That could have killed on the low, I think. That'll definitely kill, yep. He had no DP. It was still on cooldown. So in that situation, his best defensive options were, you know, is gone. He doesn't have an invincible reversal. Fairy's install super gives her, what's it called? The ability to cancel her whip normals into themselves, forward and backwards. Right, which is really powerful. And then she also, so that includes her air normals too. She has like an air jump whip, which are jumping light, you know, or jumping heavy or whatever, and you can cancel those into drill. And so she is, yeah, a really dangerous character. Yeah, M Rekka being -1 with a 5-frame button means that it's extremely difficult for characters like her to poke out. It's difficult for most characters to poke out. Even if you have a 5-frame move, like, you still have to guess if he'll complete the second Rekka or not, generally. That sweep is a very good button. It goes half screen, it's cancelable. Sweeps being cancelable in this game is such a big deal. It makes so many of the sweeps much better than they already are.
What was that trade?
Damn, was that a confirm on the counter hit? It's good damage here. I like the idea of taking the damage on this instead of extending the combo, because you just like cash out on big damage now, and then you have cooldowns for the mix-up.
Ooh, nice blocks from Irongod.
This is so hard to deal with. Yeah, you have to wait for him to overcommit. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck there for forever. Yeah. You know what's interesting is when I watch East Coast tournaments, I feel like I don't see as much Lance as I do on the West. Maybe we are all about that RTSD over here, huh? We're never, ever committing. Nice block. That mix-up is tough to deal with. Yeah, Sparks is the... He's usually in top 4, too. Nice. Yeah, I think if you see Lance setting up Fireball in a situation like that, you can challenge with a fast button or uppercut. It depends on the knockdown. This game is clearly designed around having extended hurt boxes on normals, including stuff like Fairy's Whip. Oh, that was supposed to be a quarter circle, and he got a DP input. It's clearly designed with the intended ability to whip punish the hurt boxes on normals. So Fairy's Whip is not an exception. Stuff like, you know, in some fighting games, weapons are disjointed. You know what I mean? So, like, if you swing a sword and it whiffs, you can't whiff punish the recovery of the whiff. Another good example is, like, Manat's orb normals don't have, like, a hurt box really on recovery. They're kind of hard to tag in Street Fighter. Most, like, disjointed things like that don't have a hurt box where they are. So what ends up happening is, like, it's very tough to counter poke against them. This game designed around that. It's very clear they wanted you to be able to hit these things.
Irongod actually just smashing everything, and Maverick sitting patiently. Alright, taking the good chip damage though.
Yeah, I like the disjointed hurt boxes in this game. I'm a fan. I think it's great. I think committing to normals that have such low risk all the time is is rough. I think instead you just give disjointed hurt boxes, but you design around what's it called, the character having those and having to deal with it. Like Fairy is clearly a very strong character despite that, right?
Maverick needs his one big hit. Yo, we're going for the install. This is gonna be dirty.
No kill here.
No, right? No.
I don't know. I feel like maybe the sweep confirm into super might have been better instead of install, but install maybe gives you a better fighting chance the rest of the round if the super doesn't kill.
Scary time's over. Install's out, but Maverick just needs one big hit, especially in EX.
No anti-air. You know, it's hard because you're scared of the fastball, right?
It's gone, but he's in the corner.
He has DP available. Sweep. Chip is a problem here too. Oh.
Irongod taking a lot of patience that one. There's only like about 10 seconds left. You guys
Just got sniped.
the entire match. EX stress is gone for about another second, maybe 2 seconds.
There are downsides to using the block button. There's pros and cons. It gives you access to blocking left rights without having to... Damn, that was good. Without having to worry about it. Lancelot's slide is so cheap. Such a good move. It's like spaced out is very, very safe. It goes under tons of stuff.
Look at this. All right. I got to realize where it was fake.
Yeah. Her sweep too, though, does the same thing. Jesus. It's also like really hard to whiff punish. It's like it goes so far.
Oh no! Big anti-hit.
This hurts. Next combo kills. DP hits, but it's pretty risky, and it feels so bad to have to like. That's your best option, right? Yeah, you see that? He just got counter hit after trying to contest.
Yeah, let's go. Oh shit! Can I shoot another one? Oh fuck. That was.
Fucking Jeremy.
What's your favorite school? All right, hold up.
I like these staggers a lot. You know, I like the staggers. Convinced him to sit still eventually, and was like, all right.
Jimmy Poopin, thank you for the follow. I know you're just here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, people also found out that using the block button widens your hurt box. So when if you know, let's say you're walking at someone and they're trying to do medium punch and they're buffering something over and over, like I don't know, EX lunge with Catalina or something. Then yeah, like that gives you access to wider hurt box, which makes it maybe come out when they don't want to. It's interesting. I think if you're Irongod, it seems like Fairy is so tough, right? It seems like Fairy in this matchup, you're just struggling. Vasaraga? Come on, man. He's gonna pick Fairy. Yep, I knew it. Yeah, let's be honest. We all knew he was picking Fairy. A lot more whip, raw whip in neutral, maybe to catch the fireballs and the dashes a bit more. Oh, he missed the GG. No, and he got it again. Background noise is killing you. This is just how Jeremy is, and this is how Wednesday Night Fights is. You need close light in situations to save you sometimes. That was second hit Rekka at least. So you can roll those if you're Maverick. You just have to wait for him. Oh my god. And he scouted the teleport a few times. That's like the first time in a little while he hasn't. It's tough to deal with for a lot of characters. Yeah, swing gets him out of there. I think good choice. Well, super. You know, he thought he was ready. Yeah, so the slide from Lancelot does go under the whip. Yep. His slide goes under a lot of stuff. A lot of fireballs. A lot of like any like poke that's kind of in the middle of your hitbox. It seems like it just goes under. NLBC, next level battle circuit, is what spooky streams are. This is Wednesday Night Fights. Those are the West Coast and East Coast locals that happen every Wednesday. Oh, that sucks. He had a clash and he got throw. I don't know if he wanted to do that.
Still likely, just barely though. There you go.
Yeah, you can find those on Team Spooky. Those are great. I highly recommend watching it. I watch every week as much as I can before I go to Wednesday Night Fights. But the last 2 weeks I haven't gone to WNF since, you know, it's not a great time to go to fighting game locals, unfortunately. Yeah, that was good. He got second hit of the orb there into close heavy into EX. He was going to get the wall bounce off the hula hoop anyway. Just jump back light, the air to air. So earlier I brought up that Irongod hadn't been anti-airing Lancelot. This is why you see that. Let me show you ye olde an example. So he runs up and he jumps. She tries the crouching heavy. He just fast falls and just like checks her after. She can even get punished there sometimes.
Match point for Maverick. Irongod needs to take this to stay alive.
Yep, counter hit combo off the Rekka. Why?
Oh, no.
Double hitting overhead. All right, he got lucky. No combo. Yeah, as soon as you EXDP, you just pressure all day. DP just came back, so it's a threat now, but like Until then, he just was like, okay, cool, no DP on her side. I can just press as much as I want. EX.
Maverick got a jump and I don't know.
Spend the super. There's a lot of scaling on this.
Barry has low life. And he just. Alright. Irongod opts to the GG out.
Da-na-na. It was some NRS shit. Yeah, it was. He was alive? I think you're right. I also think he was alive.